Welcome to Taking Off. I'm Christy Wong, reporting to you from DFW Airport. Today's episode is brought to you by Flying Eyes, Gold Seal, and Colton Mortgage. We love Colton Mortgage because you can actually talk to a real life person versus talking to one of those teleprompters. In fact, I wish I had used them when I bought my house earlier this year, but now I know who to call when I do my refinance here in the future. All right, guys, let's get into it. Today is one of those super windy days here in DFW. You may notice my lovely windblown first officer hair. So for most of you guys that aren't aware, the first officer is the one that typically goes out and does the pre-flight. So I get to sport the super windy first officer hairdo today. Hope you guys like it. Some sad news out of New Jersey this week when a 172 SP was found crashed in between airports during a flight. The reason why this is such a high profile case is because of the people that were on the airplane. Glen De Vries, who you may have seen in the news lately, he was one of the paying passengers on Blue Origin's New Shepard. He was actually one of the ones that went up with William Shatner recently, just last month in fact. It was him and his CFI, Thomas Fisher, who were found fatally injured in this crash. The problem is that there's not a lot of information out just yet. You can look at the flight data track. There really isn't a whole lot on there. The NTSB hasn't really put out any preliminary information yet. This airplane, it just went down with very little information on what went wrong. So hoping to see if we can get some answers out of it. We wish Glenn and Thomas and their friends and family all the best, just due to the nature of this incident. We're hoping that it's a speedy investigation for the NTSB. You may be wondering what the founder of a high-tech company who actually just went out to the edge of space and back, what is he doing in a 172? Well, the thing about Glen De Vries is that he was an avid pilot. He's been flying with Thomas Fisher for several years now. So honestly, most of you guys know once it's in your blood, it's in your blood. It doesn't matter what you fly. You could fly jets, small GA, and it sounds like Glenn was one of these individuals. More current news regarding the MD-87 crash out of Houston. Turns out that our previous report citing the MD-83 crash with the whole T-tail, physics, wind, jammed elevator issue, looks like that's most likely the cause of this incident as well. See, the really good thing for the NTSB about this particular case is not only do they have the entire tail section of the MD-87 available for inspection, but they've got all the passengers plus 2 living pilots to tell the story about what happened. Oh, in addition, they've also got the CVR and the flight data recorder. Based on the information that they've gathered from the black boxes as well as the pilots, it looks like it was a rejected takeoff. After V1, they tried to fly the airplane. The airplane wouldn't fly, so they had to reject it well after V1, rotate speeds, and even V2. The first officer also stated that he tried to help in getting the airplane off the ground. She just wasn't going. So clearly there was something wrong. Something was jammed in the elevator. Once again, you guys, this is why we don't speculate. We let the NTSB do its job. Sometimes it's a lengthy process. It takes a while for them to come to conclusions. And this isn't even a full-on conclusion yet. This is definitely based on the information that they've retrieved so far. And in my opinion, within a month, that's pretty quick. So it's really, really beneficial when you don't jump to conclusions. We're, not going to speculate. It's worth pointing out that the MD-80 has had issues in the past regarding its T-tail design. Some of you may remember Alaska Airlines Flight 261. That was the crash that the jack screw in the T-tail got jammed and the airplane went down in the Pacific Ocean just outside of LA. Such a tragic accident. If you want more details on this MD-87 crash, our friend Juan Brown over at Blanco Lirio, he's done a really great analysis of this. So head over to his channel. We'll link it up here for you guys. But yeah, this is, again, a perfect example of why we don't speculate. once we get the data, it's easier for us to armchair quarterback these incidents and accidents. But you guys have to remember, we don't have all the facts, and we're not going to have all the facts until the NTSB is done with their investigation and they're able to publish it for the public. The last thing I want to talk to you guys about today is our sponsor, Colton Mortgage. Now, some of you may be thinking, what does mortgages have to do with aviation? First of all, the owner of Colton Mortgage happens to be a pilot, and he's become a good friend of ours. I recently bought a house this year, in fact, and I'll be honest with you, it was a very painful process. Not that the individuals I was working with were at all unpleasant or anything. It's just the process itself is incredibly painful. And I actually wish that I had used Colton Mortgage. I wish I knew them back then to be able to utilize them and go through this process. They're just super nice, and we want to make sure that everybody is aware that they even exist out there to make your house buying or refinancing experience a little less painful. That's kind of our goal here. So our goal with our channel is to try to get the names of the good guys out there. So that's what we're doing with Colton Mortgage. All right, well, I'm headed back to work. So as always, we really appreciate you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next time on Taking Off.